Hey peeps, it's your girl Daxani and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today you'll be watching a time-lapse of a few fan art drawings of the characters from The Last of Us Part 2 while I give my thoughts and opinions about the characters in the game itself. This video will have spoilers, so yeah, that's your warning. Overall, I think it's an emotional and a mental roller coaster. It's genius and I hope it gets Game of the Year, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up due to all of the backlash this game is getting. I finished the game and I can understand why people hate it, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people I've listened to seem biased or don't really care on the storytelling aspect and the purpose of what we have endured in the game. And that's okay. Everyone is going to feel differently. I just don't think the game is terrible enough to deserve the over-dramatized hate that it's receiving. Naughty Dog clearly wants us, the players, to feel conflicted while playing, in my opinion. We play Abby unexpectedly only to find out she kills Joel. I felt betrayed. When Joel died, yes, I was pissed off like the rest of the fans, and I had this desire to kill everyone in the game that took away the man I played in the first one. And I love the relationship between Joel and Ellie. So you know what, I was ready for the fight. I was ready to take down some people and get violent up in this bitch. But, you know, it didn't really work out that way. The game takes a turn and we play Abby for the second time. I was angry and frustrated and just outright annoyed, okay? Like, why are they having me play this woman who killed Joel? Why are we playing her again? Well, soon enough, I got to know her side of the story and her relationship with her friends, and also to find out that Joel killed her dad, which was the surgeon who was supposed to work on Ellie to develop a cure. Now, a lot of people see this as we're forced to see Abby as good and Ellie as bad, but I don't think that's the case at all. The creators are just simply stating that there's two sides to every story and they're putting us in her shoes to get an understanding. You can do so and still hate Abby, obviously, and that's fine. And as the game keeps going, you realize there's this endless cycle of revenge, an endless cycle of violence, which is the game's theme. And it's also a title of one of the score tracks from the game that's composed by Matt Quayle. You definitely don't have to love or like Abby, but at least you can try to understand where she's coming from. By the time Ellie and Abby had the first face-off, and I was playing as Abby, I didn't want to fight anymore. I was like, no, don't do this to me. And you know, this could possibly be the fact that I was playing as Abby during this fight. So it's like, you know, first part of the game I'm playing as Ellie and I'm killing like the wolves and stuff, and now it's just, wow, the game is making me play as Abby and we're fighting Ellie. Like, this is another betrayal game. Why are you guys doing this to us? Anyways, Abby won that fight. And by the end of it, I quickly realized Abby was more comfortable and possibly took more pleasure in killing. For example, when Ellie told Abby that Dina was preggo, Abby grabbed Dina's head, held the knife to her throat, and said, "Good." When Ellie killed some of Abby's friends, she shook in horror afterwards. When she killed Mel and found out that she was pregnant, she was shook. Even after Ellie basically tortured Nora, she came back to the theater where Dina and Jesse were, and she looked seriously uneasy with herself. And I want you guys to remember this characteristic of Ellie because I think it plays in the part of her not killing Abby, which I'll go over later. You know, I can understand why people still hate Abby because of the difference between the two. However, she definitely would have killed Dina if it wasn't for the homie Lev, okay? I think Abby realized he was the only person she had in her life and didn't want him to see her as this monster. So what did Abby end up doing? She decided to walk away and give Ellie a second chance. Okay, she walked away and gave Ellie a second chance. Abby let Ellie live the first time after she killed Joel in front of her, but even after this first fight, Abby still let her go, which I think speaks volumes. And then also I think this is an addition to the game's theme, which is basically finding your humanity. So, okay, now I think Ellie should have taken the L and not look for Abby again. Especially since we see her with Dina and the newborn baby, you know, having a family and a farm, the good life. But, you know, the game said psych, just kidding. The next time around, Ellie is still craving that revenge and goes to find Abby once again. But this time she found Abby tied up and weak. And just in case you guys didn't notice it either, but you can also see that Ellie appears just as fragile, physically and mentally. This revenge was eating her alive. Abby didn't want to fight anymore, and Ellie cut her down, but Ellie forced her into this last fight. When Ellie has the upper hand and is drowning Abby, I legit started to cry because these women were both broken. Like, there was just something about playing this fight. I got really teary-eyed. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to fight Abby anymore. This revenge isn't worth it. Suddenly, you know, Ellie sees a flashback of Joel from their very last conversation and lets Abby go. I'm going to rewind a little bit, but if we're being honest, Abby could have died if Ellie just stayed her ass at home with Dina and JJ, okay? But of course, just like Ellie, majority of the fans would have wanted the pleasure in killing Abby, which is kind of ironic because I think a lot of fans, even me at one point, wanted this pleasure into killing Abby for revenge. But I noticed a lot of people complain how Abby has this pleasure in killing. Like, it's more easier for her to kill. But then, like, that was, I think, our mentality as the players. Is like, okay, we want to kill these people that killed Joel. But it's like, you know, Abby, her only, like, person that she wanted to kill was Joel, who killed her dad. And she let Ellie live. And a lot of Abby's friends died in this whole cycle of revenge and violence. So I don't know. To me, this is like, it's really deep. But anyways, I'm going to keep going forward. Okay, you guys remember when I told you guys to remember when I was talking about how Ellie reacts when she kills people. Okay, she's more uneasy about it, right? And I think that speaks a lot about her character. I think, like, and my boyfriend and I had a talk about this, and I agree with my boyfriend when he said that it wouldn't be Ellie. Like, it would be out of character for her to kill Abby. And, you know, you it's fine if you guys disagree. I'm actually curious to know what your guys' thoughts on the game too. And the decisions that were made and all that down below in the comments, of course. I want to have a discussion because I think, I don't know, to me, I really digged the story of this game. This game was about forgiveness along with the damage revenge can cause. In the last flashback we saw of Ellie and her last conversation with Joel, she says to him, "I don't think I can forgive you for that, but I would like to try." And it definitely, I think it definitely links to just letting Abby go. That's what it does for me anyways. If it's totally something different for you, once again, like I said, talk about it in the comments. I want to know your thoughts. But I think it definitely links together very well. And on top of this whole cycle, Ellie lost everything because of this. She lost her mom's knife in that last fight with Abby. She lost her 2 fingers that Abby bit off, so she can't even play the guitar or that song Joel sang to her and taught her. And she lost the woman and child she had a family with. But more importantly, Ellie lost her humanity. Or at least, I think if Ellie would have killed Abby, then her humanity would be fully lost. But I think, like, that last moment, that flashback we saw of her and Joel, and then just the action of her letting Abby go was her way of showing us her character and her humanity, where in the other fight, Abby's humanity was just giving Ellie another chance and letting her live. And then even when Ellie comes back again and forces her to fight, I mean, Abby was just like, I'm not doing this. And yo, like, I'm getting in my feels right now, but but anyways, you know, Abby lost her friends, and of course there's Owen, the guy that she loved, I guess, but you know, I think she could have done better. I didn't really care for Owen, but anyways, but yeah, Abby lost friends too, and the only person that she has, which I believe helped Abby grow as a person, that helped her find her humanity, was just the innocence of Lev. He is just a boy, okay, like just this child basically, and I think his innocence kind of brought Abby's humanity back, thus letting Ellie live. And look, I got super emotional when Abby carries Lev to the boats, because it reminded me when Joel carries Ellie out of the hospital. And I'm not sure if you guys caught that the first time. I did. I was like, oh my god, it's like it's like this parallel thing that's happening. And then I had to rewatch the clip after finishing the game, but they both said, like, when Abby picks up Lev and Joel picks up Ellie, they both say, I got you. Like, I was you guys just don't I don't care what anyone says, okay? I think this game is genius, and I stand with my words of I believe that this game deserves Game of the Year. I really do. Okay? And this game grabbed my heart. Shoot, this game was like, it grabbed my heart and was like, I got you. Now going back to Ellie making the decision to let Abby go. A lot of people say this was all for nothing, and you know what? They're right. It was all for nothing, and I think that was the point. Possibly. I mean, Ellie ends up with nothing. She ends up with nothing but her humanity. Honestly, the whole thing wasn't worth it. This revenge mentality just wasn't worth it, and it still wouldn't be worth it if Ellie did kill Abby. And I think that's what the creators wanted you to feel. And if we're honest, let's face it, Joel had it coming, whether we want to believe that or not. Him saving Ellie can be seen as selfish. Could have had a cure for millions, but instead we saved one, which was Ellie in the first game. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the first game it was stated that the cure wasn't even 100% like positive to create in the first place. So I think, there can be a little like debate there, possibly. So, but still, Joel isn't super innocent himself. But I'm not saying he deserved to die, but I'm just saying he had it coming. But back to part 2. Even in the last fight, I was begging Ellie to just let it go. Jesse died. Tommy almost died, as well as Dina. What is there to gain from all of this? I was really heartbroken in that last fight. Like, for the both of them, my heart was just hurting for both of these women. I was like, it's not worth it anymore. But it's just funny how in the beginning I wanted to seek revenge as the player. In the middle of the game, I was really conflicted, and now I'm just seriously heartbroken. But I understand the message, and this game makes me think about that quote by Gandhi, which was, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. I can go on and on about this game, more details, because I know apparently there was a lot of backlash talking about the way Abby looked, how buff she was. If anything, like, look, I love women in video games and everything, and so like being that Abby's muscular like body type, it was different for me to see, because in video games a lot of women are seen to be slim and sexy and have these nice figures or whatever it is, but like I think it definitely strayed away from that stereotype of women in video games. I have no problem with the whole like slim, sexy video game female characters, like it doesn't bother me, but I did like right away, I was like, oh, this is totally different. But it's cool to see like Abby as buff as she is. I'm like, damn, you know, it made me want to do a couple like pull-ups and stuff, you know. I'm like, damn, I gotta work on my own upper body strength. But you know, then there were a lot of people complaining about the whole LGBTQ plus stuff that was in the game. I'm like, who cares? Why are you guys so butthurt about that? Get over it. Like, damn, talking about like, oh, it ruined my game. Get out of here. Go cry in your little corner. Jesus, it's not. You making it a big deal for what? No reason. But anyways, I will say it again, this game deserves Game of the Year. I doubt it will get that, but anyways, let me know if you guys have played the game. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. I would like to have a discussion with more people about it. I've talked with a few of my friends about it, and my boyfriend, he loves the game. Yeah, share your thoughts and opinions on it too. And I know there's like theories where supposedly Ellie and Dina are said to be still together, but you guys can like do your own research on that. Anyways, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, feel free to subscribe, but don't feel obligated to. It's just a suggestion. And as always, thank you all for listening, thanks for watching, and I shall chat with you soon in the next video. Bye.